Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pippin Games' indie game known as Maiden Cops. Ironically enough, I just decided to play this primarily because, well, it was on my PS3, might as well give it a go, and I've already beaten the game anyhow. And needless to say, it is a fan-servicey indie game which stars three cops, Nina, Mega, and Priscilla, and these cops basically are protecting Maiden City from a terrorist group that is causing trouble. Now, I'm going for the classic because, quite frankly, I also have the infinite stamina purchase on because that is something you can do as you beat the game. And since I've already beat the game with the Mega, I'm gonna go on ahead and take this personally and accordingly. The first two levels is gonna be with Nina, level 3 and 4, with Priscilla, level 5 and 6 with Mega, and the last level with Priscilla since I've already beaten the game with Mega. So with that said, we basically join Nina, who is being called into the office by Chief Morgana, and unfortunately she and her team was caught slacking off. Yeah, this is heavy on the fan service, by the way. And YouTube, being YouTube, can be stupid. But the thing about these three cops, despite the fact that they have a reputation of being absolute screw-ups, they do in fact protect the city. With Mega and Priscilla being bigger screw-ups than what Usagi is, or should I say Nina is. Well, Usagi's her last name, but still. They all are basically screw-ups in the same vein, but at the same time, Nina's the one that actually has the most brains out of the bunch. Considering she's not only a veteran, she's also a mother of 8. No, I'm not joking about that. She has a husband and she's got 8 kids basically. That's kind of hilarious, and she's also a rabbit, but I digress. But whatever the case, she's freaking out because her team just got caught slacking off, and then she denies the fact that they're slacking off. That Mega's eating sweets and Priscilla's playing video games. Well, I will give the artist credit where credit is due. They actually did somewhat of a good job. Yeah, there's still stills and stuff like that, but I think the translation's a little off, but still, for what it's worth, it's actually a pretty decent one. And I'm not gonna lie, I did manage to beat this game and gain up enough money to buy any perks of this game. And yeah, you do buy perks from beating all of the levels, or beating the entirety of the game, and whatever your accumulated total is, it is going to be added on to your money that you can go and buy unlockables with at the end of the game. So with that said, I'm gonna go on ahead and, like I said, tackle the first 2 levels with Nina. And the banter is simple. Nina is basically a klutz, but she's trying to be the leader. Priscilla is, well, a ditz, but she's a really good fighter. Mega's also a really good fighter, but she's basically darkness from Konosuba. That's all that needs to be said. She is basically darkness from Konosuba, as in a masochist, or should I say a sadomasochist that either loves to give pain or loves to receive pain. Yep, definitely Darkness is the first person that comes to mind, or that one dragon lady from that one anime I can't think of that had to do with the white hair and the eye patch. I can't think of the name of that anime, but it's so freaking hilarious because that dude literally took a giant screw and shoved it in the dragon's rear end to try to subdue her. And ever since then, she has basically been a masochist for I can't think of the name of the anime, but that's the one thing I remember. I'm sorry, that shit was fucking hilarious. Because it was an unexpected thing and he just nonchalantly did that. But whatever the case, how Maiden Cops work. It plays off of the strengths and weaknesses of the three Maiden Cops. Like for instance, that light pole you see there, Usagi, well I should say Nina, and Priscilla, they cannot pick up that light pole, but Mega can. She can pick up practically anything that has a flashing sign. Like for instance, she can pick up steel girders and she can pick up light poles, and though she's pretty slow with them, they pack a wallop. Meanwhile, Usagi has terrible strength, but she is fast and she has the highest jump of the three. Meanwhile, Priscilla is basically going to be an all-around character with more range due to the fact that she has a tail. So that's the gist. While Mega is incredibly strong, she's also incredibly slow. But yeah, I did manage to beat the game with Mega because for God's sakes, they all have stamina moves and Mega's is probably the best stamina move in the game. In all honesty, I decided to, like I said, show off the infinite stamina meter perk that you end up buying at the end of the game because, let's face it, I'm going to try to, for the most part, beat this game with Priscilla, and if I had the stamina off, I'd probably get my ass kicked, plain and simple. And by the way, the loading screens and the cutaways, they're literally enemies you're going to be fighting in the game. And by the way, that was the mayor. And if you probably haven't noticed, all of the enemies are fan servicey, and if you've seen the comic, it is full of fan service too. It's in the game, by the way. But in all honesty, this whole thing with the Liberators, this was actually starting off a simple underground fight club, but then it turned into an all-out terror attack on Maiden City. And the only reason it escalated that way, primarily because there is a person behind the scenes, I've already gave it away, that is basically funding these guys, giving them all the weapons they need, and also allowing them to break out of prison. Because all of these women that were, or should I say maidens that were beating up, well, they were all captured by the Maiden Cops, and they broke out of prison. So our very first level is literally taking care of a prison break. Oh, and I should mention that the score at the end of the game will all depend on the combo that you do, and also how many pieces of evidence that you collect. Might as well call it evidence, because that's what it is. Not gonna sit here and lie. So yeah, they have necessarily 4 parts per chapter. And needless to say, the infinite life cheat does, or anyone call it a life cheat, it's more like an infinite life perk, because that's what you, or should say infinite stamina perk, because that's something you can actually buy. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because there is the last area of the game where there are bottomless pits in the elevator beat 'em up section. So it really doesn't matter if they throw you off of a cliff or you accidentally fall off, because it's bound to happen. It will happen. And no matter how high your stamina is, you fall off the cliff, well, there goes a life. And you do only have 3. And mind you, you don't have infinite supply of continues. Well, in this game you have continues, but the arcade mode, yeah, no continues. Which is why I'm not playing the arcade mode. Because I would rather beat the game and get it over with than actually get stuck in a level over and over and over and over again. It's kind of how things roll. And I know what you're saying. Try beating it without the perk. I did. And it can be infuriating. Now then, with Priscilla, she has the somersault kick of Charlie, the spinning kick of I'm trying to think, DJ, and also the jackknife maximum of DJ, which ironically enough I have the style of DJ on my character like the last part of Street Fighter 6. And by the way, that flying knife thrust, that is actually an homage to, I'm trying to think of, it was an homage to a character from Streets of Rage, or no, not Streets of Rage. It was actually Double Dragon 5: The Shadow Falls, where Blade had that exact move where he just dashes to the screen with his blades out. And only Nina has that move. So we're now at the 4th section of the prison. So all we're practically doing is beating up everyone, and moreover, we'll find the person responsible for what's going on outside. Well, in fact, we're about to get to that part right now. Oh yeah, and all your weapons do have a energy level, as in, or stamina level if you will, because once the weapons are broken, they're gone. However, you can buy it to where you can keep those weapons whenever you want, and it won't matter. And now we've gone to the first boss, which is Miranda. Now, the thing about Miranda, she was in the prequel comic pretty much going undercover, but her operation was almost busted wide open with the Maiden Cops and their, well, tomfoolery. And needless to say, Priscilla is legitimately too stupid to realize that yes, Miranda is a dirty cop. Or so one would think. It's the last level, you're probably going to reveal what's going on, but Miranda was actually going undercover in the Fight Club, but at the same time, she had her operation busted open by the Maiden Cops, and she's also the one who literally told the Liberators that the Maiden Cops were on their tail. So yeah, primarily it's their fault for busting up her stakeout. That's literally the whole ordeal. They're the ones responsible for this. and she's the one that's responsible for the breakout. Well, sort of. There's one more factor, the mayor I mentioned earlier. Oh, we'll get to her probably in 3 episodes, because I don't intend to drag this out for too long, because there's only going to be a 7-level fight, and 2 levels right now is literally 30 minutes. So yeah, the last fight of the game is going to basically be not as bad. But Miranda Viperous will pretty much try to Goomba stomp you, or butt drop you if you will, every chance she gets. And her area is going to be surrounded by goons. You can use those goons to throw into her, or you can use your stamina to interrupt whatever the hell she's got going on. Usagi being weak, you're going to have to get close enough and hit her. Again, if stamina wasn't on, Usagi would have already lost because, well, she also has the worst durability of the group. And after the boss is defeated, well, the boss will just fall down, and so too will any enemy would be in the vicinity. So they will not count towards the defeated total. Well, no, I don't mean the boss. I meant the enemies that is in the boss area. They'll just automatically fall down, and they will not count towards being defeated. So, again, it turns out that Miranda is involved with something much more dangerous than what is expected. So, Miranda may have fled the scene for now, and of course, Priscilla was going to go after her, but unfortunately, they'll have to report that to Captain Morgana, or was it Morgan? Yeah, Captain Morgana, to pretty much explain to her what the hell's going on. So with that said, at the end of each battle, you'll get a tally of everything you've collected, the maximum combo, your life, and everything else. And it will add on to your salary. Now, your level will also increase. Your salary level will get higher if you manage to play this on a higher difficulty. Which is why I'm playing this on all. Okay, maybe I might get a, mature rating for that loading screen, but I can't help that. That's in the game. Don't look at me. But if you're playing this on a higher difficulty, that's more money to work with. On a normal difficulty, you'll end up getting, well, more money to work with too. So that way you'll be able to buy not only all the unlockable perks, but also you get to buy new outfits for the maidens. Specifically the outfits that the maidens had on in this battle. I'll put them back in their original outfits in the next episode. But for now, I did it because I just needed something to play. Not because I'm bored, but because I had a rough day at work, and I figured that I needed to record something, and unfortunately, I didn't get home until around 11 o'clock. So, yeah, that's why this is going to be a little bit late. But I digress. So, with that said, that was the mayor of Maiden City, Marie, and she basically gave a non sequitur to assure everybody that everything is okay, when in reality her speech was pretty much akin to, there's nothing to see here, people, continue doing what you normally do. And even Mega actually figured that part out. The only one who didn't is Priscilla, who is, well, too dumb to realize. And yes, she is a nitwit.
Huh?
Oh, and yes, for the record, Nina is the oldest of the three. Let me remind you, she has 8 kids and a husband at home. So on that note, let us continue on with the game and break everything that you see here, because the more stuff that you actually collect, the easier it is for you to get some money at the end of the game so you can buy all the perks. But again, as I also stated, the higher the difficulty, the higher the perks will be. And in this level, or the last level, you were just basically going through a beat 'em up, which you're just trying to avoid. Oh no, you're just trying to beat up prisoners and all that stuff that just came out. Here, you're avoiding cars, because obviously you're on the highway or something like that, or actually the Midnight Strip, because you're going to a club to try to inform the proprietor or get information from the proprietor, so that way you can find out about the liberators. By the way, aside from the cars, there's Doolahans riding motorcycles, so be careful. Anyway, make sure you break every single breakable item that you can get, because sometimes they will drop stuff. And also be careful, because some characters will just try to repel whatever hits you make by, well, just running into you tits first. So yeah, bear that in mind, while the small enemies will just swat you with your tail. Well, swat you with their tail, sorry about that. Meanwhile, the Doolahan comes with. So yeah, we gotta be careful about the Doolahans. And of course, I'm tired. That's why I sound like this. And it's not because I'm tired because I didn't get any sleep. I'm tired because I just came home and I've worked for so long. And I had to go to the doctor in the same day. So yeah, that's why I sound like I'm, well, sick, because I'm not, but I'm just exhausted. And I decided to blow off 16 because the day was actually pretty terrible and frustrating. Anyway, ironically, our second boss makes her appearance in the actual cutscene. Or not cutscene, but rather the loading screen. And, of course, we're going into the bar in order for us to get some information, or should say the Elegant Maiden Pub. But Priscilla's first thought, instead of focusing on the job, is to get ice cream. My god, she really is a ditz. But it's all for comedy's sake. Oh, I'm also trying to remember which street. There was a Streets of Rage character that also battled in Skates. I can't think of the kid's name, but you had to actually you start off at him, and then after you started off with him, eventually you will run into no, it was Streets of Rage 3. I can't think of the damn character's name because it's been so long. damn it, it's gonna come to me eventually. But it was a Streets of Rage character that had rollerblades, and he was actually a much decent fighter than what I can't think of the main character what Blaze was. Yeah, he was a much decent fighter than Blaze. I mean, the only time you would actually use Blaze in that game was literally Streets of Rage 4. And he was also much more decent than Axel, at least. Yeah, I do remember Axel. I just can't think of that damn kid's name, because it was him and one other character that was absolutely broken, and it was the kangaroo. No, yeah, you could actually fight as a kangaroo in Streets of Rage 3. Thing is, you had to beat its trainer first, then the kangaroo could be unlocked. Well, you had to beat the trainer first, but not the kangaroo. Because if you beat the kangaroo, then you wouldn't be able to unlock the character. Whatever the case, there's so many dual hands-on motorcycles, so you gotta be careful. Oh, I think Chapter 5 has more dual hands-on motorcycles. Just so many dual hands. This is ridiculous. Oh yeah, and by the way, they're also coming with guns. They're packing heat. And you wonder why I have the infinite stamina perk on. Because again, I want to get through that because those particular characters will pretty much drain Usagi's health dry. Because her defense is complete garbage. Even Mega, after getting hit a couple of times with a bullet, will end up losing all 3 of her lives real quickly. So I'm pretty sure we're at the tail end of this level. Yep, we are. Oh wait, no we're not. Not really. We still got one more room and then we'll be at the tail end of this level. And probably the tail end of playing as Nina. Alright. We just need to keep beating these guys up. And we will be in good shape. So, on that note, we're going to just proceed to beat these guys within a half inch of their lives. But here's the thing. I wanted to show off the other 2 costumes, but I went there and beat Mega in that swimsuit costume that she had. Well, beat the game with Mega with the swimsuit costume that she had, I meant to say. But it's all good. I'll probably show that off at the end of this playthrough, which is probably going to be like the 4th episode of it, because it's a 4-episode endeavor. The last part of it being literally the last level. So, on that note, again, if everybody's asking, why are you doing this with the no stamina lost perk? Real simple, because I beat the game and bought it. That's why. And you can beat the game and buy it too. You'll understand just how frustrating this game can be. And I would rather, like I said, I'd rather beat the game and get it over with than to constantly continue from the last save point, which, ironically enough, you lose all your continues. If the game actually does have an autosave feature, it will save in the last level you died and start all over from the 3rd life, or if anything, the 5th life. But if you're playing it on arcade mode, once you lose, that's it, you lose. There is no autosave. You fight until you die. Period. And again, I don't have time for that because look at the sneak attacks that they do. And again, Nina is not the most durable character of the Maiden Cops. She's practically the hard mode. And I do believe Priscilla is somewhat medium strength. And Mega, again, she's the strong girl. And she is basically more durable. But she's also slow. And we managed to make it to the boss. So, with that said, we're trying to get any sort of information that we can. And of course, Priscilla throws the conversation off by asking for chilled ice cream with chocolate sauce. Chilled ice cream is ice cream. I don't get it. But then again, I can understand because sometimes the ice cream melt. So, on that note, we have somebody here trying to put up a resistance because Nina sent the magic word. She wanted information on the Liberators. Unfortunately, Sandra cannot give. Well, Sandra is the barkeep, and she cannot give that information to Nina. Meaning we're gonna have to beat her up. Because, unfortunately, her bar is being threatened by the Liberators. And if anything was to happen to the bar or her, well, there wouldn't be an elegant Maiden pub. So basically, she was thinking about her own well-being. But nonetheless, you gotta be careful because she too have a butt drop. Now that I start to think about it, does every character have a butt drop? But she does have more durable mooks, especially ones with guns. And mooks with guns is always a bad thing. But you can avoid the butt drop. Granted, the enemies constantly shooting you or hitting you can put you in invincibility frames, but you can avoid the butt drop at any given time. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that's 2 levels down with Nina. So, our time with Nina is over with, and in the next episode we're going to be playing as Priscilla. But Sandra will explain why she did what she did. But moreover, she's practically going to be begging for forgiveness, but at the same time also mentioning that we gotta go to the next level, which is the beach. Oh, let's be honest, there is some tongue-in-cheek humor, and again, heavy fan service, but it's not as bad for the YouTube to warrant a mature rating. I mean, it could be really stupid that they did. I mean, it is the YouTube humans, but it's not bad enough to warrant a mature rating. But we're practically done with this level. Let's see how much money we managed to snap. Well, we're only gonna get like silver because we played this on normal. If it's easy, you're going to get just only bronze, but if it's hard, you're getting gold. So with that said, I'm going to end it here, and in the next episode, we're going to do I should say stage 3 and stage 4 as Priscilla. This is RVMan 985. Peace out, and take care, and sorry for the late upload.